Hey, don't do that. Sorry, you can't do that on camera. You have to charge people for that. I'd already started filming this, and then I realized when I went back to listen to it, because I was complaining about my cat making me open my window, that I've been using my mic wrong this whole time. So first of all, don't yell at me. I know I said last month that I would start posting regularly this month, but the thing is, I decided to bulk film a bunch of videos because I have to help my dad with Zoom and online classes stuff, and then like this month I'm gonna start college again. Let's see if I don't drop out this time. So if I don't have enough time to edit 2 videos a week, I'll just have some like already edited. Turns out Aries season has been good to me. I've been editing a lot. I have like 5 videos ready. So I am going to start uploading this month, I promise. Also, like 7 people watched my video last month, so I don't think anyone was really yelling at me to start uploading, but I just wanted to say that. So the first book I read this month was One of the Good Ones by the Mulit sisters. So this is a novel about 3 young black sisters, and one of them, Cassie, is mysteriously murdered. She's arrested in the middle of a protest and she winds up dead. We never get to know what happened up until like almost the ending, but we know it was under mysterious circumstances and in a police precinct. So Cassie is an honor roll student. I think she was actually a valedictorian, if I'm not wrong. I don't know. And she is a social activist. She actually has a YouTube channel that's fairly popular. So her 2 sisters, Happy and Jenny, I think, or Jenny, decide to remember her by taking a road trip that she had planned before she died. Talks a lot about respectability politics, which I'm guessing you could tell from the title of the book, who we as a society deem respectable or good enough to remember or grieve. There's a big plot twist almost at the end, and I saw some reviews saying that it like cheapened the story, or that it made the emotional journey that the sisters went through take a backseat. If you think that, honestly, you're boring. I'm kidding. Obviously, like, I get when people said that because it was quite dramatic and it was like fairly late in the book. But I'll be honest, I liked the plot twist. I can't say why without spoiling it, but I'll admit that it was quite like, you know, it gave me whiplash. I had to lay down for a bit. I usually listen to my audiobooks on 1.2 speed. This time I had to like slow it down and just sit there and be like, okay, so this is happening now, okay? I'll just say this. The cognitive dissonance of that one specific character is kind of insane. What the fuck? Oh, I forgot to mention that the book description is The Hate You Give meets Get Out. So maybe that helps you get an idea of the overall tone of the book. Also, all of the POVs are from black women. I just realized that.
I am so powerful. My mind, oh, it amazes me sometimes.
Next, I read They Wish They Were Us by Jessica Goodman. Sydney Sweeney, The Things I've Done for You. I would read 50 Shades of Grey for her. Like, she has me in a chokehold. It's true, it has to be said. We have Jill, scholarship kid in a very prestigious, very snobby high school. She's part of this elite group in this elitist high school that's called the Players. Here's the thing. I kind of liked, I mean, I didn't like it, but it was very interesting how there was sexism and sexual assault in this elite group in the Player. I liked it because it reminded me of Hollywood, you know? Like, yes, everyone there is rich and famous and probably bad people, but also before, well, there still is, but especially before the Me Too movement, apparently there was a lot of sexism and sexual assault going on that not everyone knew about. I thought that was a very interesting angle to take, but at the same time, it annoyed me because I feel like this book is just proof that annoying, awful men just follow me everywhere I go. And not in a good way either. Like, they're not paying for my shit, they're just being sexist. So basically, because they're in this group and they're in their senior year, they're in charge of hazing the freshmen, basically, which is really cute. And here's the thing, Jill wants to do things differently. Jill's not a very special character. Like, I'll just say that. She was there and she was like, you know, she was the better person there. I still didn't like her. She starts getting these like mysterious texts from this mysterious person talking about her best friend's murder, because her best friend was murdered when they were both on their freshman year in this high school. Now here's the thing about this. In the synopsis, there's this like, oh, she got this mysterious text, like, oh, someone's like haunting her, someone knows something that she did. When in reality, in the book, someone texts her and they're like, hey, I need to talk to you. And we know who texted her because it was in her contacts list. And like, I like these type of stories just like as like trash. I'll tell you this, just to get to know me, my favorite trash series is Pretty Little Liars. I love to read Pretty Little Liars just to turn my brain off and be like, oh yeah, I wonder who A is. The thing about Pretty Little Liars is those girls, like Mystique once said,
and peace. Never forget.
privilege.
And proud.
You're not expected to think the characters are good people. Whereas in this book, like the last 2 chapters, I'm supposed to think that these classist rich kids that cheated their way to like college and scholarships are like good people. I was just sitting there like, cognitive dissonance. Say it with me. The phrase of the month is cognitive dissonance, because I'm not going to like these rich white kids. I'm so sorry. The next book I read was In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. What can I even say about this book? It's beautiful, but it's awful. You probably already know about this book, but if you don't, I'm keeping my voice down because if I wake up my cat, he's gonna yell at me. So in case you don't know this book, this is a memoir about abuse, and abuse in specifically sapphic relationships. So she made the distinctions and she specified why it's different to the justice system and why it's perceived differently in society. But at the end of the day, she wishes it wasn't, because part of what made it harder for her to speak out about her views was the fact that she didn't want to reinforce stereotypes about sapphic relationships or lesbians. I think this was an amazing way of. I've only recently gotten into memoirs. I think I'm gonna read way more after this, because this was an amazing way of truly painting a picture of what abuse is like, because the whole time it just felt like she was walking on eggshells, like a horror movie almost. There's a lot of like thriller elements as well. I think we all know a little bit about abusive relationships if you're like into feminism, into feminist theory, maybe like, you know, the signs like on a checklist. But hearing someone who went through it all is completely different. I cannot recommend this book enough. The next book I read was I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid. Now here's the thing, okay? Listen. I gave this 3 stars partly because I liked the movie more than the book. But at the same time, I feel like if I hadn't watched the movie, I would have rated this 2 stars. Like, don't ask me why, it's just how it is. This was very eerie and very atmospheric. Atmospheric. Oh my god, I've never said that word out loud. I've only ever read it. Whenever they're in like Jake's parents' house, it's all very like uncomfortable and you get to feel it like there's something wrong. And then by the 3rd act, you're like, oh, I'm very uncomfortable. I do not like it here, but I can't stop watching. And there's like a thriller element and everything kind of builds up to like this very like extreme, like weird, but also like satisfying, very like strange moments that kind of leave you thinking after you watch the movie. We don't get that in the book. Like, for me personally, like, the tone was the same. Maybe like the last few pages were like, oh shit, like, wow. But at the same time, I feel like it's unfair to rate this based on the movie because one, I don't really do that with any other books. Two, I'm thinking of Ending Things was like one of my favorite movies of 2020. So I know it's unfair, but this is my channel. So next, I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I told you I was gonna start reading books that everyone on BookTube already read like 3 years ago, but I fell in love with this book. Like, it's definitely one of my favorites now. This is the story, in case you don't know about this book, because it's also very, very popular. We have Evelyn Hugo, icon, Hollywood legend, and then we have, I don't even remember her name, but there's a journalist. Evelyn Hugo's like, hey, can you write my memories? Not my memories, my memoir. And the girl's like, why me? And Evelyn Hugo's like, guilty. I'll say this. There like were so many times where it felt like an actual memoir. It's like the characters are so nuanced and so well written and fleshed out that it felt like they were like people, like normal people, like in Hollywood, you know, but like normal people. We get to go through the decades with her and her friends. We get to see like how she and her friends get through different decades and how they age and how they cope with different like trauma. And it's insane because we also get a lot of like historical moments, like for example the Stonewall riots. Also, I tweeted about this, but like I want Rita Moreno to play Evelyn Hugo. Like there are so many parallels like with her life and like her story. It's crazy. And I also kind of want Ana de Armas to play young Evelyn Hugo. Like, there's so many options, and they're all so good. The next book I read was Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez. This was the month of buy books. We love to see it. We have Darcy. And you know, Sex Education, she runs a business like that, but instead of sex, it's about love in general. Basically, she watched her favorite YouTuber a few times and she was like, I can do that. Now, one thing that I liked about Darcy was that she was aware of the fact that she wasn't a therapist. She was like, hey, if you need like professional help, you should get professional help. I'm just here for my $10. Like it's fine. And you know, this one guy one day finds out what she's doing and he's like, you're gonna help me get my girlfriend back. And she's like, I hate you. This book has everything. This book is so much fun. You know, summer YA romance excellence. What can I say? We have some amazing family dynamics, mostly between her and her sister. We have like just overall, this book is so gay. Like it's very queer. Darcy's sister, for example, is trans, and there's no like tragic moments regarding that. We just get to see them being sisters and hanging out. Because Darcy is in this queer club with Q, we have ace people, we have gays, we have bi people. We also get to talk about Ryan and Chad in High School Musical and why their story is so important to gays everywhere. And we get to explore the theme, a lot of different ideas, and one of those ideas is internalized biphobia and how Darcy thinks that maybe dating a guy would make her less bi. We get a slow burn, enemies to lovers. Well, it's not enemies to lovers. They're like slightly hate each other a little bit, and then they're like, okay, let's be friends. And then they're like, I love you. I love them so much. I think one of my favorite things about the main couple is that they're just assholes to each other the whole time, but they're also very assuring and very like so kind to one another while at the same time fighting all the time, like bickering all the time. Ugh, chef's kiss. If you actually want to see my like reactions, my commentary as I was listening to this book, I made a thread on Twitter. I'll link it down below. And I tagged Sophie Gonzalez on it. I didn't think she was gonna read it, and then she did. There was this one tweet where I was like, oh my god, didn't she minor in psychology to make this? And then she was like, I'm a psychologist. I'm never tagging another creator in anything ever again. That was so embarrassing. I reread Red, White, and Royal Blue. I still can't talk about this book without crying. So maybe one day, I'll be able to form a cohesive sentence about this book without crying. Today's not that day. I'm probably gonna reread it next month, so we'll see if I can do that next month. First of all, I want to read Less by Andrew Sean Greer. I want to read Black Imagination. Listen, the synopsis is already like really good and really like I want to read it, but also it's performed by David Diggs. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I also should start reading something for college. I was looking at the program and I'm gonna read The Things We Lost in the Fire. I'm not ready to get going with college stuff yet, but I feel like this is gonna be a good transition. Oh, I want to read They Both Die in the End by Adam Silvera. I just saw him say something like, if a white man tells me not to write gay books, I'm gonna write more gay books. And I was like, okay, I'll read your book. I want to know what you're about. So this book better be fucking gay. Maybe I'm gonna read An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. I don't know. I'm in the mood for books that take place like in college or right after college. I'm tired of reading books set in high school, man. Like I'm too old for this. They keep reminding me how old I am. I know I'm 21, but capitalism has got me feeling like a fucking failure. So, oh, and I want to read Slow Days, Fast Company by Eve Babbitt. Just because recently I started watching on Carly here on YouTube, and she made a video reading all of Anya Taylor-Joy's favorite books. And I watched it and I was like, this sounds like a book that I would like. So that's my TBR for this month. I have to start like studying next month. I have to start to do something with my life. If you like this video, follow me on Twitter because I'm probably gonna keep doing threads. I'm not gonna be dumb enough to tag the authors when I make like a live reaction thread. I made a new Instagram. I'm gonna post pictures of my cat. Like, what else? Also probably studying like inspiration just because I'm gonna try to make it aesthetic this year. Like I've tried everything and it doesn't work. So at the very least I'm gonna try to make it aesthetically pleasing, I guess. Follow me on Storygraph because I need more friends in Storygraph. Spotify, oh so sad. I didn't make any playlists for any books this month. That's so sad. Follow me on Letterboxd because I'm gonna start watching movies this month again. I stopped for like 2 months and I felt sad. I feel like I've convinced my brain that my source of serotonin is movies and books now, and it's gonna be a problem at some point in my life, but I don't have time to worry about that right now. Follow me on there, and any other social media is in the description below. Have a nice day, night, whenever you're watching this, and always remember to follow Harry Styles' advice. Bye!
Subscribe to this channel.